EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for October 25th, 2019. For your Friday, we are going to have mostly cloudy to overcast skies today, and I'll show you why that is here in a second. I know we have a lot of townships that do the trick-or-treat night on Friday night tonight, and then some do it on Saturday night, tomorrow night, and others wait until actual Halloween, which is next Thursday. So what we're going to do is try to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what to expect for those nights, because or those evenings. I know for some of you that have children, or even if you don't, you're going to be handing out candy. That's going to be something that something you're going to be concerned with. Today is the partly to mostly cloudy, because we have mostly cloudy to overcast, because we have a frontal boundary that's sitting right up here. This is a cold front, and we also have this big system that's sitting down here in the northern Gulf or northwestern Gulf and coming on shore in Louisiana. There's a plume of clouds that are going to be spreading out in this direction ahead of that. And also you have the clouds in association with this front off to the north. So we're kind of being a squeeze play today. So that's why we're going to get that. Expecting mostly cloudy skies and at times even overcast for much of the day. And that goes straight into the evening. So unless you live right near the Pennsylvania-New York border, you don't have to worry about rain this evening. We should be okay. So any trick-or-treaters that are going out on Friday evening to this evening, we should not have any issues with any rain. And even if you are in these far northern counties, like places like Tioga, Bradford, Susquehanna, up there by the border, you could get a quick shower, but it's not going to be anything that's going to be a washout or anything to be too concerned about. I think most of this, if not all, remains from the Finger Lakes region all over to Syracuse and maybe Binghamton, but I think that's going to be just north of the border for most of you. Okay, so that's today. Now, we do have the clouds that are going to, as this frontal boundary moves through, we're going to have clouds decrease later at night to partly cloudy. So we're going to go from mostly cloudy, overcast during the day today, probably cloudy this evening, and then the clouds are going to decrease and thin out a little bit overnight. And it's going to start off that way here on Saturday, but then clouds are going to increase once again as we get to later in the day. I do think that for most of you, except far western areas, we'll hold off on any showers on Saturday evening as well. So if you're somewhere on the eastern part of the state, from Philadelphia to Allentown to Wilkes-Barre, somewhere in those regions and along that corridor there, you should hold off with the showers. This is now looking at 8 p.m. and it doesn't get that far east, so you might get lucky there. The further west you go towards central Pennsylvania, you have a better chance of running into a few showers. Nothing crazy. This is just the warm front that's ahead of this developing low that's in the moving into the Ohio Valley. It's sitting right here, so you have a warm front that's pushing out ahead, and then the cold front associated with this is back here like this. So there's going to be a little bit of a push ahead of this with this warm front, but there's not a lot of precipitation. You see just some light grays that are extending into parts of south central Pennsylvania here in the evening on Saturday. So for most of you, Saturday is just partly cloudy to start, then mostly cloudy in the afternoon, and then you have the showers coming in during the evening, but it'll be a little bit later in the evening the further east you go. Okay, so that's your best guess on here on Saturday. And as far as those clouds are concerned today, just didn't mean to backtrack, but I had this image ready to go here. Mostly cloudy skies. This is looking at early this morning, and then as we go through the day here today, we're going to have basically overcast skies. You might have a few breaks of sun in a few spots, but I think it's mostly just going to be overcast or pretty close to it for the majority of the day today. And again, that's going to thin out as we go through the evening. Now, going ahead with this system, a few showers overnight in the overnight period going into Sunday morning, and then I think you have periods of rain during the day here on Sunday. That will start to taper off the showers during the evening, and this will pull away. So most of your Sunday is a wash. And we're looking at very similar amounts of rain that we had to the last system. If you look at the one we just had a couple days ago, that is about the amounts of rain that we can expect from this one too. Very similar, and in very similar areas as well. Then after that point, it gets a little crazy for next week. I think most models agree that partly to mostly sunny skies are going to be in place here on Monday. It's going to remain on the milder side of average next week. The question is, how mild does it get? And how long is it going to last for? The European model, the GFS, are in two completely different camps. They're more than a day apart on the arrival of a trough that's expected later in the week. So right now we're favoring the European model guidance on that it stays kind of mild through most of the week until we get to Friday. GFS thinks it's going to happen as soon as that cold front moves through on Wednesday. So there's a pretty good spread there. But we're favoring the European model, not because it's a statistically better model, but the GFS has a tendency to speed things up and move things along a lot faster. It's a progressive model, and it also likes to rush pattern changes in a lot faster. Okay, so it has a tendency to do that. So I'm kind of leaning a more European model, but that's not to say that it's 100% correct or definitely going to be correct. We're just leaning in that direction. And then as we move through the next couple of days here, you can see on Tuesday, it could be a chance of showers here with an onshore flow developing at a high sitting up here in the Gulf of Maine. Onshore flow like this will give you a few showers, especially in our eastern areas, possible here on Tuesday. So maybe mostly cloudy here on Tuesday. And then once we get to Wednesday, European model has partly cloudy, and that's it. GFS has a few showers around because it has a front coming through. That front on the GFS doesn't come through until Thursday night and Friday, and you can see that here. Okay, and then behind that, for the following weekend, it has the cooler air coming in. GFS, again, brings that in a lot faster. Here's a look at the GFS ensemble. Now, this is looking at the 20 members, and you're all blended together. Very, very cold anomalies out here in the Rockies and Plain States. You can see on the East Coast, these are the warmer anomalies that we're going to have up through Wednesday here on the GEFS. At the same time, when I pull up the European ensemble, look where it is. All the way back here. It's back further west, so it's not quite as fast as the GFS. So there's a little bit of a spread there, and you have some anomalous warmth here on the East Coast that hangs on a little bit longer. So we go all the way until we get to Friday before that bleeds eastward, and it finally comes in, but just a piece of it and just slightly below to start November. And if we go back to the depiction on the GEFS, which is the GFS ensembles, if I can ever get to it, it's not going to let me. But it brings it in a lot faster, and then we are a lot cooler next week. So if you see some app forecasts that go off the GFS forecast, it'll say temperatures on Thursday and Friday next week are going to be barely into the 50s, barely. And we still have in our local forecasts temperatures well into the 60s. So I think that's going to end up happening. But there could be some change at the end of next week. So just keep that in mind. There could be a little bit of, if one goes and trends toward the other, or maybe they meet in the middle or something like that, there is expected to be some changes in the late week forecast. Maybe it holds up and the European model is correct. We'll see. But right now, we're going to keep it as is. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich. That is your outlook for October 25th, 2019. Have a great Friday.